Like many other vehicles, the bike has become a common staple throughout Ninjago. Each of the ninja have received one at some point, and each have been unique and different in their own ways. But today, we're going to be looking at the best of the best. Hey guys, Hfmasters here, and today we are counting down the top 10 bikes. As I've said before, Kai's bike from Skybound is a decent build, but it's nothing special. The bike has no real functions, however there are some adjustable bits on it, giving it a little bit more dynamic wise. The bike also looks pretty good, but the simplicity of it really just leaves it kind of lacking when compared to other sets and leaving it at a low spot on the list. Coming in at number 9, we have the better half of the Ninja Bike Chase. Ni's bike has a very cool and unique design, but it is lacking in features. The front end is adjustable, but that's as far as the playability really goes here. Overall, a cool design with some nice unique bits, but nothing much other than that. Jay's bike from Hands of Time is another simple bike, but it is a good one. It has two adjustable flaps on the front as well as two adjustable elemental blades, giving it some different dynamics, going from a more high-speed chasing look to just a more simple strolling or parked look. But most importantly, it's the first bike on this list to have play features, with two stud shooters on the front giving it more playability, allowing it to edge out Nia's bike. Kill's bike has a lot of really good things going for it. From detachable skateboards on the side to swinging swords, this bike does the play features right. Not to mention they even designed a slot for Kill's relatively big club. The only problem that I have with this personally is that it just doesn't really look that good to me. The giant saw on the front is just ugh. And the fact that they made it bright red when there's barely any red on the rest of the bike makes it just look really out of place. I think I would have liked this set a lot more if they just would have made the saw a different color like black, but still left the red rims on the other side. But even still, it's a pretty good bike fundamentally, even if it's not the best looking thing in my opinion. Zane's bike is another interesting one. Like Kilo's bike, there are swinging swords and stud shooters, but there's also a removable falcon, which is a really nice callback to the show, and it looks really nice here. The bike only suffers from one flaw, which is that Zane could not sit on the bike without removing his quiver, which is honestly just really stupid. I don't understand why LEGO didn't make the bike compatible with the quiver, knowing full well they were going to include it in the set. And if they weren't going to make it compatible, why not just not include the quiver? It's a problem which really doesn't need to exist, and it's not really that big of a deal since you can just take the quiver off, but it does keep this bike in the middle of the pack. Mr. E's bike is essentially a more refined version of Kilo's bike. Sure, it is smaller, but it has almost every play feature that Kilo's bike has, with the exception being the skateboards, and it actually makes the swinging swords better in my opinion because the blades move up and down as you roll the bike forward or backwards. Not to mention that they did a much better job with the color scheme on this one. Overall, this is a really nice looking bike, and personally I think the best bike to come out of the double bike sets. The Skull Motorbike is the first Ninjago bike, and like a lot of the regional sets, it still holds up to this day. The design is a very simple but effective one, pulling off the skeleton aesthetic very well, which isn't always the easiest thing for LEGO to do. But the main thing which sets this apart is of course the function. You pull the little lever on the side and it swings the skull forward, knocking over minifigures. It's something very different and something that LEGO hasn't really done much after this set, but I thought it was a really cool function, a really fun one at that. Now if this list was based on these sets as a whole and not just the bike part, the Blaster bike may very well have taken the top spot. It doesn't have the best design on the list, but it's by no means bad. The double hidden stud shooters look and function really well, and overall it's a well-rounded bike and a good template for what you want a bike set to be like, but its basic design does hold it down when compared to others, not to mention that this bike does have a little bit of a balancing issue. However, you can easily combat that by just moving down one of the exhaust pipes. Overall, it's good, but not the best. The Ghost Chain Cycle is in my opinion the absolute coolest looking set on this list. From the color scheme to the elemental blades and the flames to even the chains that cross each other in the front of the bike, you can really tell that the designer really did their best to make the most out of what they had to work with here. They even tried a different style of shooter in the back by incorporating a launcher which flung the chain forward. Overall, this is a really cool looking bike. However, it does get just slightly edged out, keeping it down at number 2. And the top spite goes to Kai's Blade Cycle. The Blade Cycle has it all. It's got the cool design, the cool and unique function, and it even has a great price. One of my personal favorite parts of this set is how it just slightly leans forward, along with the nice small details to get in, like including 4 metallic silver studs, which just make it seem like they added some engine detailing, as well as getting some nice shaping throughout this set all the way around from the blades to just the curved pieces. Overall, this is a really cool looking bike, and it has a really nice function, and overall it just barely edged out the chain cycle for just being an overall more well-rounded set, and that brings it to number 1. But that was the top 10 Ninjago bikes in my opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video. Thank you guys for watching. Till next time, see you guys later.